Hey, welcome back. I'm Ferrikster, here to bring you some more Pokemon Go GBL battles. These battles are going to be played in Remix Cup. This is a different team that I can also recommend very highly. So this team opens with Whiscash. Whiscash is one of my favorite Pokemon because it is so cute. It is so cute. I don't know how anyone can not love it. Probably being on the wrong side of its mud bomb spam probably put a lot of people off from it, but I mean, look at that face. My gosh, it's amazing. But yeah, so opening with Whiscash, and in the back I have a Nidoqueen, non-shadow, and a Hypno, also non-shadow. Using the shadow version of either is probably fine, especially Nidoqueen. Hypno, I think Hypno you're probably best off with the regular Hypno. It just seems to synergize better with this line. Because Shadow you don't really want to spend shields against Whiscash. And Shadow Hypno can, it hits harder so it can draw a shield better. Hypno doesn't really hit things super hard, so, opponents don't really want to shield that. They don't really want to shield Whiscash, and they don't really want to shield Nidoqueen either. That's why it all just kind of synergizes. They don't have a great place to spend shields to actually get something out of it. They're going to end up shielding mud bombs or punches or poison fangs for the most part. So you can get very efficient damage out with a line like this. So my opponent has their Shadow Hypno trained on my adorable Whiscash. Whiscash is going to reach mud bombs ridiculously fast because that is what Whiscash does. I failed a fast move deny right there, so an extra confusion snuck through, but that's all right. Whiscash is going to be able to land that mud bomb, and now I'm going to get confusion down. Most Shadow Hypnos carry double punch, so I'm going to bring out Nidoqueen. I'm going to take this first punch, whatever it is. It's a Thunder Punch. That literally cannot possibly be the right move. I don't know what the other move is. Maybe they have Focus Blast or something back there. Did we see another move other than that? There's no possible move that Hypno could know that would be worse against Nidoqueen. So I'm going to assume Focus Blast and that they just weren't there yet. And we're hoping to draw Shield. Ariados is going to come out, which doesn't have an amazing matchup. Wow, it gets confusion down really hard. Hypno comes back out. I'm going to no-shield this also. Since they already threw a Thunder Punch, this is probably just another punch. It's Fire Punch. That would have been the better punch to throw against Nidoqueen. And yeah, I am going to Zero Bubble this Thunder Punch, and then I'm going to just throw my next Thunder Punch and also Zero Bubble that, even though there's a lot of activity around the bubbles. Managed to take that Hypno out. That's a GG. So Whiscash wins a lot of leads. I saw a ton of grasses 2 days ago, and then yesterday they kind of disappeared, stopped seeing them in the lead. So it felt like a good time to bring Whiscash around to the front. Also, I know some people don't have a normal cast form, and it is kind of expensive to use, and it's admittedly hard to get good IVs on any of the cast forms because they're so often boosted. But yeah, Whiscash, pretty accessible Pokemon. I am going straight Mud Bomb here. I already got debuffed once by the Scald, which, it did a decent chunk of damage also. Whiscash is still going to be able to outpace Poliwrath quite easily. I'm going to shield this second Scald because this will put me really, really low in farm down range, and then I'm going to switch out to Hypno, get some nice confusion damage in, and then they switch out to Frostlass. So, all right, I'm going to build up to a Shadow Ball. I'm not going to shield this first move because I know this can only be an Avalanche. And I'm just going to throw this Thunder Punch. The idea behind throwing this Thunder Punch isn't necessarily, that I have to bait out the shields. It's just avoiding the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario would be if Hypno throws the Shadow Ball and then Frostlass is safe to build up extra energy before throwing a move that would take me out. So, to the point of just avoiding the worst possible outcome, that's why I'm throwing the Thunder Punch. Because even if they no-shield the Thunder Punch, then I'm close to another Thunder Punch, which would, threaten KO. So they don't have as easy a path to just farm up a ton of energy. Whereas, Shadow Ball has nice risk-reward, but the downside of it, if they shield the Shadow Ball, it puts Hypno in a really miserable place. So that's the thing behind why I, bait in that situation. All right. So they are going to bring a Registeel out. That's what they have left over in the back. I think this Whiscash was already debuffed once. I'm going to switch out to Nidoqueen. Oh, I remember what I was doing in this game. I was feeling obnoxious in this game, and I really, really wanted to end this game with a Whiscash. So even though I have the Earth Power, I'm not going to throw it. I could have thrown it and undercharged it. That would have been more responsible if I really, really wanted to Blizzard the Registeel, which is what I want to do. I really, really wanted to Blizzard the Registeel. I don't remember why that was so important to me. Was I in a mood or something? I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. But yeah, the Reggie comes out, and it's not quite at the Flash Cannon. So I totally unnecessarily am BMing them. Yeah. I don't know. Uncalled for. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with me. But yeah, gonna take that game. So, GG. I'm sorry. All right, next up against Gasolina. Whiscash into Stunfisk. This is a fantastic lead for Stunfisk. The way I like to play this out is just build up to the Blizzard and then throw the Mud Bomb anyway. Mud Bomb is a pretty efficient move, relatively speaking. Obviously, Blizzard even more efficient, even though Mud Bomb gets stabbed. So Blizzard would do more damage per energy than throwing the Mud Bomb would. But like Mud Bomb still hits for a pretty respectable chunk. And, you know, sometimes I can Mud Bomb and get a shield. Like, I got a shield there. That's fantastic. So I'm going to no-shield the Mud Bombs coming out of this Stunfisk, regardless of what happens. Build up a little bit past the Blizzard, and then I'm going to throw the Blizzard. Just trying to time this out so that I'm throwing it right before they get to their move. And I get another shield. So I'm going to no-shield here also. And I think I could probably safely double Mud Bomb the Stunfisk from here. But, I mean, I'm already at the Blizzard, so I'm just going to throw the Blizzard. And I'm sure they're looking at this and feeling like I baited them twice and was trying to land the Blizzard the whole time. I would have been totally satisfied landing the Mud Bomb. That is a dominating matchup for Whiscash, and then my opponent resigns the game. Because Whiscash has like no health to farm down, and they were in a really bad spot. All right, next up against Pranav. Shout out to Pranav, a streamer on Twitch. I think he started streaming fairly recently, so give him a follow. He's a very talented battler. Opening Rainy Cast Form. So I tried playing Rainy Cast Form in the past, and I just did not love it. I just felt like it gets to its weather ball a little bit too slowly and doesn't really do like oppressive, punishing damage with its water gun. I mean, pure water is a very good typing, just attack defense wise. And now we CMP ties me throwing this last weather ball. Ideally, I would have liked to throw an extra Mud Bomb or something just so that I'd have lower health, having taken a little bit more damage. Could also have undercharged that, but I didn't trust myself to undercharge accurately against the Rainy Cast Form, and I didn't think it was going to be too much of a problem. And then Mew comes out, so yeah, it's not great. Mew is pretty rough for what I've got left over. Gonna show the first move, and it is a Surf, just trying to determine what the move set is, what the Mew set is. And now I'm going to throw this Poison Fang bait. I get a shield. Now that I've debuffed them once, I can just safely throw my next Poison Fang if they don't switch out to clear their debuff. And that's what they do. And they bring an Intergouge. So I could bait here, and maybe that would have been the better choice. Like, in the moment, it felt like throwing the Earth Power. It felt like they wouldn't shield. But then they did, and I realized that if I had just thrown the Poison Fang, I could have just switched into Hypno and Confusion the whole way down after, you know, not really doing the damage, but debuffing their defense. Confusion would have done more, would have been able to safely get them the whole way down. Could also have thrown the Thunder Punch at any point. I don't know. I wasn't counting, and I thought I was going to make it, and then I didn't. So now I'm in kind of a rough spot. If they had had a little more health and I could have farmed up on Nidoqueen, that would have been a lot better, because a Poison Fang is not going to be enough here, and I know this Mew already has energy. I'm not sure why he hasn't thrown the Surf yet. It's like he's toying with me or something. Like something I would do to a Registeel with a Whiscash. Anyway, ends up surfing and taking me out. I would have preferred to be BM'd if you were going to build up extra energy like that. Pranav, come on. Missed opportunity. All right, next up against somebody. Whiscash versus Obstagoon. This is a pretty neutral-ish matchup, slightly favoring Whiscash. Whiscash will win this in the zeros, unless the Obstagoon does something obnoxious like boost, which would be terrible. Thankfully, this one does not get that. I built up to the Blizzard, and now I'm just going to throw the Blizzard. What I've noticed from Obstagoons is if I wait to throw the Blizzard until after they throw their second charge move, then they end up shielding. So if they get their second Night Slash out before you Blizzard them because you built up extra energy first, then maybe Mud Bomb bait because they're a lot more likely to shield because they feel like they have a whole Pokemon left and, want to just... They would just be able to shield once and farm down. But he catches a Mud Bomb on his Golbat, and that's fine. I'm going to bring Hypno out. Decided to shield the first move, and thankfully that was the Shadow Ball. If they had baited me there, they wouldn't have been able to get anything other than another Poison Fang out, which would have been, better than me shielding the Shadow Ball, but that was a risk, and they decided to go the safer route, which is throw the Shadow Ball. Makes sense. And now a Frostlass comes out. But since my Hypno already has energy, I'm going to play this the way I play the Frostlass matchup before, which is build up to the Shadow Ball and then just throw the Thunder Punch if they still have shields, just because I don't want to risk throwing the Shadow Ball, it getting shielded, and then them farming up tons and tons of energy on me, because it takes that long to reach your next Shadow Ball. It's 5, then 4. And Obstagoon comes out, and I'm not quite able to Confusion down. Going to take me out with this Night Slash, and I'm just going to come back in with Whiscash, not reveal my backline in case I encounter this person again, and able to Mud Shot down, and that's a GG. Alright. So took care of that set. I went 4 out of 5. I get some dust, which means we don't have to watch me catch anything, which is great. Rank up to level 11, and going to move on to the next set. Alright, next up against Animosity. Whiscash Mirror. So this is fairly bait dependent. Mud Bomb and Blizzard both hit for neutral, but it's a lot more efficient if you can land a Blizzard. I am going to shield this first move, and I correctly shield the Blizzard, so that is fantastic for me. Throw one Mud Shot so that I can fast move deny properly, and now I'm going to throw my own Blizzard. And they no shield, so that's fine. Here I'm making a mistake, which is I'm throwing the Mud Bomb here. They had thrown the Blizzard, so they were out of energy. I should have just built up extra energy well past my Mud Bomb, built up until they were about to reach the Blizzard, and then throw the Mud Bomb. Because that would leave me with a lot more energy left over in case they come out with something. And here I think I make another mistake. Pidgeot is out, and I'm going to throw the Blizzard here when they're still one gust away. And because I throw this Blizzard here, I have put myself in a position where if they shield, they can just farm me down safely and don't have to worry about anything. I should have thrown the Mud Bomb, because then at least I can still threaten Blizzard, so maybe they wouldn't build up so much extra energy. This has left Pidgeot with so much energy. I'm able to sneak in a Confusion with Hypno, which is fine. And I'm going to no-shield, because Pidgeots love throwing Feather Dance. I mean, Feather Dance was the way to go before when it was cheaper. Now that it's so expensive, I don't know if it's as worth it. So this was a CMP tie that I lost, and I'm going to be debuffed down to the minimum. Like, my attack literally can't be debuffed further than that. And now I'm just going to switch out to Nidoqueen because Pidgeot is out of energy. I am going to throw the Poison Fang here. I was anticipating this forcing the last shield because otherwise they are left with one thing left, and Nidoqueen can debuff. So, I was really expecting to get the shield against Pidgeot, and they probably would have had to switch out to Preserve. I don't know if they would have been able to reach another charge move, so maybe that was the right move. But, yeah, with one Pokemon left and it not resisting poison, Nidoqueen's debuff, it's just too strong. That coupled with the spamminess and the actually pretty respectable damage output of Poison Fang, able to get to this last Poison Fang, and I'm able to take out this Ninetales without even having to use my shield because I was able to tank that Weather Ball Fire. And that's a GG. All right. Next up, we've got Azalex, and shout out to Azalex. Thank you for watching my past video. He's opening Golbat. So, Golbat into Whiscash, I know this matchup because I'm very familiar with it from the other side. From the Golbat side, I know that even if they are to throw the Shadow Ball, I'll survive that no problem. And since this is a non-Shadow Golbat, they would actually have to throw like more charge moves after that. Tried to catch a Blizzard on a normal cast form. So Golbat into cast form. This is my team, and the thing that is left over in the back. Wait, what do I run? I think I run Frostlass back there. I just made that video. I don't know why I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to send Nidoqueen out against this cast form. damn, is that what I run? What the heck do I run on that team? I'm going to no-shield this also. It is another Weather Ball which definitely chunks, and I'm able to Poison Jab the rest of the way down. And the unfortunate thing about the position that I've put myself in here, and I really had not much choice in the matter, is that now Golbat's going to be able to come out, and it can safely wing attack me the whole way down. Gonna throw this Earth Power. It does, I mean, a lot more than the Poison Fang, but not that much. Both Poison Fang and Earth Power are single resisted. Earth Power obviously does a lot more. And yeah, then a Frostlass is going to come out after I send in my Hypno. So this is okay. It's not like Whiscash can't unload all of this energy that I had stored up from the Golbat match against Frostlass. It'll do plenty efficient damage there also. About to reach my next one. I really thought about shielding this so that I could get my next Mud Bomb out, but I decided, you know what, there's no need. Since they threw that, they don't have a lot of energy. I should be able to safely Confusion them the whole way down. Especially since they're throwing here in the middle of my Confusion. And they throw a Shadow Ball. So they're definitely out of energy. I don't know why the hell am I throwing this move? Oh my gosh, this makes literally no sense. I don't know why I'm throwing this Thunder Punch. I should not be throwing the Thunder Punch. It was just one more Confusion. I don't know what's the matter with me. Past me, what were you doing? So I'm going to let this go. It's the Shadow Ball. I'm not calling them right at all. But yeah, I'm able to get this last Confusion through. He's throwing in the middle of my Confusion, so I just shield this. And even if they're built up to back-to-back Poison Fang, which I honestly think they are, the Confusion registers, and I'm barely able to manage to take that game. GG. That was... yeah, I did not play that amazingly. But it was okay, it was enough. All right. Whiscash against Hypno. I like this matchup as Whiscash. I mean, it's like neutral-ish, you know, like it depends on the shields. Here, I'm throwing my Mud Bomb, and they didn't sneak a move in. And now, I sneak in a Mud Bomb, and they're throwing. So, that looks to me like they actually, you know, were throwing the move that they were building up energy to. So I shield, and I correctly shield the Shadow Ball. So, a really subtle tell. I usually don't love shielding the first move from Shadow Hypno because they so often are running Double Punch. And since he's getting up close to his next move, I'm just going to throw that Mud Bomb, and then they throw a Confusion, and I'm going to throw this next Mud Bomb. I'm not sure why they shielded the first one. They're going to give me a second shield. They are, too invested. And then they overtap. They had the energy for another Shadow Ball, but they overtapped and threw another Confusion instead. That was a really rough mistake for them. And there's a Wigglytuff in the back, and then I'm a Machamp. I'm going to bring Hypno out, and that is a GG. Yeah. That was lucky of me, the way that they played out the Hypno. I correctly shielded the Shadow Ball, and then they overtapped, so it was just, I was in a pretty strong lead already in that game. All right, Whiscash against Machamp. I do not like this matchup, so I'm just going to switch out right away to Hypno. My thinking behind that is, even if they bring in something that takes out Hypno, I will, well, for one, be able to do pretty decent damage, because Hypno functions pretty well as a safe swap, especially because you can never really be sure what it knows. And, yeah, even if I get taken out, I'll be able to come in with Whiscash, and even if Whiscash has to take some damage or throw a charge move to take out whatever takes out Hypno, like even if I lose Switch, Whiscash will be left with any amount of energy at all. And since that Machamp only got one counter in before it swapped out, which it would have had to, otherwise it would have taken a Confusion. If I'm even 2 Mudshots up, then I can outpace the Machamp a lot more safely. So that's my thinking. Like it's fine to bring Hypno in just because, you know, against Machamp, I know I'll get outpaced and I'll get outdamaged. The counters just do so much. It's a lot better for me if I can bring Whiscash in against something and end with energy, any amount of energy at all. So they shielded. So I'm going to Mirror Shield because they were up to an Earthquake. That's why I threw my Mud Bomb then. And now I'm going to wait till they're almost at their Earthquake again before I throw the next Mud Bomb. And if they shield, I mean, I guess I could have let it go, but since I was actually able to outpace them and just get to this other Mud Bomb first. So I wanted to end with energy, and I ended up ending with literally none. But I do have a shield advantage, so that is okay as a trade. I'm going to no-shield this first Cross Chop. It chunks. And I'm worried for whatever reason I'm not going to be able to reach the Blizzard, even though I'm pretty sure I would have been able to reach the Blizzard just fine. I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb, and then I'm going to try to switch out to Nidoqueen to catch the Cross Chop. They don't throw right away, but this, I don't think they're built up to quite a payback yet, and even if they are, I would survive it. Ends up being a cross-chop bait. They let me poison jab them the whole way down, and there is a Registeel in the back, and that is a GG. Registeel isn't... I mean, Registeel doesn't get one-shot by an Earth Power, so I would still have to throw 2 Earth Powers. They could maybe have... Like, if they had switched out right away, I think they might have had a little bit of play there. It's not that dominating a matchup for Nidoqueen. All right, Whiscash against Greedent. This is bad for me. Greedent is pretty decent against Whiscash. It is pretty decent. It's fairly strong against Hypno also. Just because my Hypno does not have Focus Blast, so I don't really have a good way of hurting Greedent. It ended up doing most of my damage with just Confusion. Confusion, and I mean the Thunder Punches do just not that much. Thankfully, they no-shield the Blizzard, so that at least lands. And I'm able to just barely reach this Mud Bomb because my Whiscash has pretty decent IVs. These Bullet Seeds hurt so much, it's ridiculous. I do get a shield, which is good, because I think Greedent would have barely survived that. But I mean, this Greedent has so much energy, so I'm probably going to end up having to shield something anyway, or I'm going to take a lot of damage. I decided to send in Nidoqueen, because Greedent knows Body Slam and Crunch, and I don't want to take super effective damage, that's for damn sure. Going to take the second Body Slam, and if they are able to reach another Body Slam, I will have to shield it. Thankfully, they come up just shy, go down with that energy, and Ariados comes out, which is really not accounted in Nidoqueen. Because I've got this energy, I'm not going to bait. I'm just going to go straight Earth Power. It lands, hits for neutral, does, you know, like 70%, and they threw this at 4 Poison Stings, so it can only be cross Poison, which Nidoqueen double resists, so I'm going to no-shield that. And now I have 2 shields left for Hypno, and thankfully they don't have something out here that like Shadow Claws or something that would really destroy Hypno. It's just a cast form, a Sunny cast. So yeah, I could have Shadow Balled here, but I opted to just straight Thunder Punch. It seemed like the safer option at the time. I'm not as familiar with Hypno as I am with a lot of other Pokemon that I run more regularly. I mean, you know, Confusion is a 4-turn move, but I mean, Hypno doesn't feel that slow as compared to its bulkiness. Like it pushes out moves at a respectable pace considering how thick it is. And yeah, able to take out Cast Form, and then Ariados gets Confusion down and managed to take that game. GG. And that's the end of that set. My items are full, and I can safely throw away Pokeballs now because I can reach all 3 of my house stops again. Thankfully, they brought the distance back up to 80 kilometers. Makes the grinding part of the game a lot easier, which is good because I don't love that part of the game anyway. I get Hypno, which is fine. If I can, I'm totally down to get Hypnos because I don't have a Hundo yet. And XL Hundo Hypno is okay in Ultra League. I think it reaches like 2380 or so. So definitely somewhat a niche pick that's usable there, but very expensive. Anyway, this opponent opens a Abomasnow, which is terrible for Whiscash. I mean, the resistance to ground makes it really tough, and it survives 1 Blizzard, so it's just all around bad for Whiscash. And yeah, I'm just going to send in Hypno, and they respond with their own Whiscash, so that's fine. I go straight Shadow Ball, and it lands, so that's good. That puts me in a much better position. If I was running Double Punch Hypno, I would be in a much worse spot. And for whatever reason, I'm throwing the Thunder Punch here. I probably could have just Confusion down. They're up to a Blizzard. Maybe they were planning to throw back-to-back Mud Bombs, but since I was able to sneak in a Confusion, I can just shield this, and regardless of what it is, all that energy goes to waste. And Abomasnow comes back out, and I am already down a shield. But Hypno will survive a Weather Ball from here, and I'm not in Farm Down range. Or not easily in Farm Down range. They could have definitely CMP tied with me there and won that and taken me out, but they would have ended up with no energy, and I guess they wanted to save some. So they're just going to shield my Shadow Ball, which is definitely the right move, because that would have done a lot. Build up even more energy. They have 2 Weather Balls built up at this point. I'm going to send out Nidoqueen, and they switch out right away, and it's Toxicroak in the back. So that is fantastic for me. I'm able to bring Whiscash out. Whiscash demolishes Toxicroak. I actually, looking at it, I should have stayed in a little bit more with Nidoqueen built up to a Poison Fang before swapping out, just because the counters are resisted by Nidoqueen anyway, and it's not like Toxicroak's energy is going to be really damaging Whiscash. Whiscash takes more damage from counters than he does from the Mud Bombs, because Sludge Bomb is resisted, and it's really weird for Toxicroak to be running Dynamic Punch, but I mean, weirder things have happened, I guess. So here, Whiscash comes back out, or Abomasnow comes back out. It's going to Energy Ball my Whiscash, which is the right move because I would have survived the Weather Ball. And since I am definitely going to be able to survive this Weather Ball, I'm going to let it land so that I can become more acquainted with my Pokemon. This was a safe time to let Nidoqueen take that hit so that I feel more familiar with the Nidoqueen Abomasnow matchup. I managed to take that game. GG. Always good if you're completely safe because you've identified moveset to just, take a hit if you know for sure you'll survive it. It just helps you get a little bit more accurate with how much damage something is going to do. All right, Whiscash into Sylveon. This is not great. Sylveon is super bulky. I built up to the Blizzard, and I'm going to bait with the Mud Bomb. If I can land a Blizzard, that would be good. Because Blizzard will do so much that I can, I think, almost Mud Bomb down, or Mud Shot down. Ending up shielding this Psyshock. And now I'm built up to back-to-back Mud Bombs, so I'm just going to throw the first one, and if they shield, I will build up a little bit of extra energy before throwing the next one. They do. I was going for the Blizzard, and I did not get it. That was terrible. Oh my gosh. I should have identified that I wasn't going to make it, and really should have thrown the Mud Bomb. I don't know why I did that. Gonna have to shield the Psyshock on Nidoqueen because that would hit for a ton of damage, being super effective. And all I have going for me is that I have energy. Like, I'm down switch. Thankfully, they come out with a Shadow Machamp, which is really not a Nidoqueen counter, so whatever else they have in the back must be even worse against Nidoqueen. Hopefully, it's something with an overlapping loss. It makes sense that behind a Charmer you would have a fighter, but whether they have a second fighter or not, I don't know. They might have like a ground type back there because you really need anti-steal, but they're staying in. And the other thing in the back is Victory Belt, and that's not even anti-steal. What does this team do against a Registeel lead? But, yeah, I am just going to Shadow Ball the Victory Bell and just Confusion down my champ and managed to take that game, GG. Even though that was a really terrible lead for me, my backline was able to recover against that just because there's usually at least one fighter behind a Charmer and, maybe another fighter or a ground type or something. Like, you need double anti-steal back there. Fire, maybe? Things that my backline can at least have play against is the point I'm getting to. So, in this game, I made a terrible mistake, which is, as soon as I saw the Gyarados, I immediately swapped to Nidoqueen. And, what if the Gyarados was running Waterfall? That is a viable fast move for Gyarados still, even though, it now has Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath. It could still be running Waterfall, so that was weird. Weird choice, and then Drapion is going to come back out. Or Drapion is going to come out. And here I'm going to bait Poison Fang for the same reason that I bait against Frostlass. I don't want to put myself in a position where they can farm me the whole way down, or farm up a dangerous amount of health, dangerous amount of energy before throwing anything. Since this was a CMP tie, I opted to shield it. Otherwise, I would not. Like, if they had thrown one earlier at 7, I wouldn't have shielded because then they would win CMP tie at 8. But since they built up to back-to-back before throwing, I was able to sneak my charge move in the middle and take that out with a full Aqua Tail of energy left. So Gyarados is going to come back out. I'm going to bring out my my Hypno. I get hit with a Crunch, which is not amazing, and there's a Nidoqueen back there, which is fantastic. Managed to catch this Poison Fang on my Whiscash, which does not that much because I'm ground. And yeah, I'm going to build up a little bit past the Poison Fang because there's no reason for them to throw it. They need to build up to and throw the Earth Power to take me out. I'm able to take them down with the Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb won't KO Gyarados, so I'm just going to build up to and throw the Blizzard as soon as I have it. If they want to throw to stop me, then they're going to have to use all of their energy. Instead, throw the Aqua Tail, which is not quite enough, and I'm able to reach this Blizzard and manage to take out this Gary. GG. Yeah. Gyarados can still have Waterfall. I don't see a lot of it, but it was so risky to switch out to Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen's not that good against Gyarados anyway, no matter what the fast move is, because, Aqua Tail, it hurts a lot. All right. Next up, Whiscash into Mandibuzz. This is fine. Hypno obviously is quite bad against Mandibuzz because Mandibuzz is so tanky that even my super effective Thunder Punches do nowhere near enough. I'm just going to go straight Blizzard. Mandibuzzes are so ridiculously thick that they don't really need to shield. And I mean, yeah, because even now, I landed the Blizzard with Whiscash, and it's just, the Mandibuzz is still there, and it's not in Mud Bomb range. It's not even in double Mud Bomb range. I literally have to throw another Blizzard, which is just too hard. So I'm going to switch out to Nidoqueen. I get a little bit of farm, and then they switch out to Frostlass, which is a really strong answer to Nidoqueen. This is quite bad for me. I'm going to throw the Earth Power, and it goes through, thankfully. So now that that went through, and I was even able to sneak in a Poison Jab there, I'm in a much better spot. I can shield this first Avalanche, and I'll be able to throw this Poison Fang. Throw one over to Fast Move Deny, but it actually would have been worth the risk to throw it immediately and try to deny, even though the odds are less, because if I was able to do so, even if they had shielded, they would have been taken out because that one of the Poison Jabs that I threw that wasn't boosted would have been by their lower defense. Either way, going to shield that. I'm hoping Mana Buzz will come back out because I really don't need to see Mana Buzz later. My gosh. Going to throw this Poison Fang right away, and I'm really hoping that they no-shield it and let it through, and they do, and it doesn't kill anyway. Oh my gosh, Mandy. So they're at the foul play, which is going to take me out. And I'm going to send out Hypno because I figured I could Confusion down more easily than I could Mud Bomb down. I mean, you know, Mana Buzz has immunity to resistance to both, but felt like the more sensible thing. What I needed to do here was probably switch out and catch a move on my Whiscash. Not able to do that. They're able to just get to their crunches way too fast, and it's hard to switch out and make a catch with a 4-turn fast move like Confusion. That is a downside of having, you know, a long time duration fast move. So landed the first Thunder Punch. I could land the second Thunder Punch and it still wouldn't do enough. And since I got the last shield, I'm going to switch out to Whiscash. I could have thrown one more Mud Bomb in there before throwing this. Would have been totally safe to do that. I don't know why I threw that one first. And yeah, if I would have gotten one extra Mud Bomb out, I would have done a little bit more damage. You know, it wouldn't have made a difference. They're able to take me out with this Body Slam. I would have needed to stay in and do one more Confusion first. I just wasn't that familiar with how much it did. And Mana Buzz just barely is able to get to their charge move right before I take them out with my last Confusion. Takes me out with the foul play, and that is a GG. Yeah, very well played by my opponent. That was a super challenging matchup for me, though. Like, oh my gosh. I did not have a positive matchup in that game. All right, Whiscash into Obstagoon. Saw this before. Just going to no-shield the first move. It is a Night Slash, and this time they get the boost. So that is way worse for me, obviously. I was able to sneak in one Mud Shot earlier, so I'm one Mud Shot ahead of them. And, I mean, Whiscash also outpaces anyway because it's 5-4 for the Mud Bombs as opposed to just 5-5-5. For the Night Slashes, since they got the boost, I have to shield the second Night Slash. If they didn't get the boost, I wouldn't have had to, and that would have been a lot better, obviously. I usually like to just go straight Mud Bomb against Obstagoons that have boosted because they are much more inclined to shield, for one, so it is way too risky to throw Blizzards. And yeah, they also, since they got the boost, and that's a rare event, they have a vested interest in keeping their Obstagoon healthy also. Because, you know, healthy Obstagoon with its boost can get a lot done. But that's all right. So Nidoqueen comes out. I haven't taken much damage. I have a little bit of energy. I'm going to throw this Poison Fang against this Hypno, which is a mistake. I should have just swapped out to my own Hypno. I switched to my Hypno there to transfer the Confusion since I threw with Nidoqueen in the middle, and there's a Wigglytuff back there. So that is okay. I mean, Wigglytuff isn't a great receptacle for Hypno's energy. I build it to 7, so this could totally be a Focus Blast. I just happen to not have it. They correctly no shield, and I am just going to spam out my next Thunder Punch. And with this, I might be able to Confusion them down, but they shield, and I am not going to be able to Confusion them down now. I could shield here and, you know, Thunder Punch them, but there's obviously no point. I'm just going to let this play rough go. This actually helps me, and yeah, I'm just going to bring out Nidoqueen, farm up a little bit of energy, and I'm closer to getting the charge moves that I need to take out this Hypno. I throw this Earth Power, I Fast Move Deny. If they had snuck in a Confusion, this would be really, really bad for me. Land the Earth Power, it was a CMP tie. So thankfully they threw there. And yeah, I just shield that Ice Punch, and they were just one Confusion away from their next Ice Punch. I was able to Poison Jab them down and managed to take that game. GG. And that's it. That's my third set. So 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. All in all, I'm very happy with this team. I love Whiscash. It's adorable. I think a lot of my viewers already know that about me. And yeah, it synergizes really well with Hypno just because, you know, Hypno, Nidoqueen, Whiscash, they all throw out spammy moves. It's hard to find a good place to use a shield. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this content. Don't forget to do the things you know you're supposed to do at the ends of videos. You know you're supposed to do them. Please do all of the things. I will catch you guys on the next one.